Hi, I'm back, and I did go back in and put on my optimizers and resoldered this, and this is what it should look like. Now, normally if I was just going to leave this like that, I would sand it, finish it, and clean it up, but I don't care. Yay! Because I'm going to hammer it. The hardest thing about this hammering is not hitting your fingers, so all I can tell you is just be careful. I'm going to switch hammers, by the way. I grabbed the wrong one. I want a heavier hammer so I do less work. So fortunately, there's one right here. This has a little more heft onto it. And by the way, the proper way to hold a hammer is at the back of it. You don't want to hold it up here. You're wasting your energy and your time. You're not getting enough weight. And the fulcrum isn't as effective. So hold it back here. Of course, now you're going to hit it harder, so you're going to hit your finger harder if you're not paying attention. Try to keep it as far back as possible. I have yet to figure out a glue strong enough to hold this down without using my hand. And what I'm going to do is slowly curve it around with my left hand while hammering with my right hand. If you're a lefty, obviously do it backwards. I'm not going to demonstrate because I will hit my finger if I try that. Okay, remember I told you about flipping? Same thing here. I always flip. You never know, I don't care who they are not talented enough to have equal force exactly dead center of this hammerhead. Well, maybe there's somebody out there. I'm sure I'll hear from them. I'd like to meet them, actually. Okay, we can keep going around and around. I'll flip it over again. This is amazing. I haven't hit my finger yet. I'm going to get some kind of award. Okay, that's good enough. So what I'm going to do now is put a little, you can leave it like this and either with sanding discs, which I always use because I'm lazy, or sandpaper. You can go ahead and clean this up and leave it just like that. Or you can put pattern on it. There's two simple ways. One is to go back to this, my little riveting hammer, which by the way, I refinished the ends on both of these with sandpaper and the red stuff to buff it up. Oh, I'm having that woman moment again. I'll think of it later. Anyway, you want your hammerheads shiny with no Mars on them, because whatever's on your hammer is going to transfer to the metal. Rouge, that's the stuff. Okay, so we're going to hammer around. Same thing, my left hand is rotating and moving it and keeping out of the way as best as it humanly can. And the right hand is just the machine making the hammer go back and forth, or up and down actually. Good thing this thing isn't the size of a car tire. Okay, so that's one pattern using the wedge-shaped end on the riveting hammer. You can do this, mix the patterns, but for demonstration purposes I'm going to do it on the same piece. Now you can use the ball peen end of the ball peen hammer to put a nice little circle dent on it. This is another simple way to pattern your material. You could also run this through a rolling mill with a brass pattern plate, but what I do is I run it through the rolling mill one way to make it into an oval. I anneal it, I pull it out of the pickle, dry it, and then I run it through with the pattern plate the opposite way, so you can continue to have your circle. If you run it through the pattern plate, you're going to end up with an oval. So you have to run it through two different times. We'll do a demo on that at another point. So anyway, right now we have finished the eye of our clasp with two different patterns on it. So that can go away for a minute. Now I'm going to find, there it is. I've annealed this, remember. And what we're going to do at this point is we're going to curl our ends. I'm going to I put this tape on here to mark where I'm going to curl this part of the hook. So I do it the same every time. The beginning part of the hook here, I use the very tip, the smallest part of the round nose. And the problem with these are, it just loves to slip. Trying to curl it as cleanly and neatly as I can, which is why I'm rotating it from side to side. If you don't rotate it, you end up with one side higher than the other because these are not straight up and down, they're cone shaped. So you always alternate when you're using round nose pliers. And I want to just make this nice and clean. Okay, so that's going to be our leading end, like right here.